You know, guys, I'm going to say a rather bold statement. 2019 is certainly the comeback year for Gibson, and today we're going to be shooting out two of their guitars that they have to offer this year. The Gibson Les Paul Modern and the Gibson Flying V. Which one do you guys like better? Let's find out. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today we're going to be waving the Gibson flag once again and doing a nice shootout of two of their most popular guitars this year. I'm a huge fan. You guys know this, those of you who've been following my channel. If you're brand new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. But yeah, guys, really, I love Gibson, man. I really do. I wave their flag. I wear their brand on my sleeve, so to speak, because I'm a huge fan. It's what I grew up with. My father was a huge Gibson guy, so I in turn is a Gibson guy. And I'm really excited for this shootout today. Now in the blue corner we have the tried and true Gibson Flying V. Now this guitar in 2019 really doesn't have too much to offer differently compared to years prior, but Rosewood is back on the fretboard. Last year in 2018 it was Granadillo. Now we're back with the Rosewood, and that's a personal favorite of mine. In the red corner we have the brand new 2019 Gibson Les Paul Modern. Now this guitar is like the culmination of the Gibson HP and the Gibson Les Paul Standard, in my opinion. You have the asymmetrical neck, you have the locking tuners, you have the weight relief, you have the cutaway at the upper register for people who want to do solos, you have the compound fretboard radius, you have the ebony board, you have the push-pull pots, you have the true pie pass, the out of phase, the split coils. You have so many things built into this guitar, and that reiterates the fact that Gibson is listening to their players and giving pieces of this guitar that people want to play. So guys, for the shootout, what we're going to do is the tried and true demo song, alright? We're going to go back and forth between the Les Paul Modern and the Gibson Flying V. For this song, I'm in drop D using my Mesa Boogie Mark V 25, my favorite amplifier of all time thus far. I've yet to try a few other ones that are on my radar. We'll see if they get trumped. Before this video, I'm using the Mark V with a tube screamer in front of it. Superior Drummer 3 is the drums, and STL Tonality is the bass tone. So after the song, we'll come back and we'll talk about them, alright guys? Without further ado, here's the demo song. Alright guys, that is the demo song. That is those two guitars in a mix, in a comparison, side by side, going toe to toe. And there's really not that much difference, but there is a difference nonetheless. Now what I'm going to do for you now is play the exact same song, but only the guitars, alright? No bass, no drums, and then after that, then we'll come back and we'll talk about these guitars, okay? Without further ado, here's the isolated guitars. Alright guys, so that is the isolated guitars. That is what those guitars sound like. Quad track guitars by themselves, no bass, no drums. And my overall summary, sonically, is the Les Paul has a lot of low end and a lot of high end, and the Flying V has a lot of mid-range punch. So let's compare and contrast the guitars. Alright, now I did the specs in the beginning of this video, but I think in terms of sound, there's a few things that are adding to the overall tone. First off, the fretboard wood. The Flying V has rosewood, the Les Paul has ebony. Now people often argue about that fretboards don't really make a sonic difference. I personally do believe that they do. Another one is the pickups. The Gibson Flying V is loaded with the Burstbucker 2 and 3. So Burstbucker 3 is in the bridge, that's what I use for that song. And the Gibson Les Paul Modern is loaded with the Burstbucker Pro Plus in the bridge. So those pickups themselves are a little bit different. So I've heard that the Burstbucker Pro Plus certainly has a lot more output than the Burstbucker 3, so that is certainly a factor to the overall difference in tone. Another difference is the Les Paul has the bypass pod. Now I had this engaged because I am a metal player, that is my style. I'm not really a classic rock or a blues or a jazz player. I play hard rock and metal, and so I certainly love to engage that push-pull pod because it gets rid of the entire tone circuit and the split coil circuit, and therefore it's just a direct signal, from the output jack to the pickup. I love that feature. And lastly, the overall difference in tone can be attributed to the shape themselves. Now Les Paul body is certainly a little bit thicker and rounder, obviously, and I think there's a little bit more wood with a Les Paul than there is a Flying V. Flying V really doesn't have much to it. It's rather thin, and there's really hardly anything there, minus just straight down the middle behind the neck. But I think that just the amount of mahogany in the guitars themselves has to have some sort of sonic difference, right? Honestly guys, I think if I had to pick one, I think I'd go with the Flying V. And I was very surprised with this because I'm a Les Paul guy through and through. It's the first guitar that I ever had the privilege of playing, my father's Les Paul. And I am a die-hard Les Paul fan, but the Flying V just had that mid-range punch. And for me personally, what I'm looking for with my tone is a little bit more mid-range because, again, the guitar is a mid-range focused instrument. It doesn't need a lot of low end, and it doesn't really even need a lot of high end per se. It just needs to sit in the middle with the mid-range stuff. And so for me, the Flying V just sounded better in the mix. And at the end of the day, we're not really playing guitars by themselves. We're playing in a band setting or on a recording, right? So for me, the Flying V just sounded better in the mix through my Mark V. But all in all, guys, bottom line, Gibson's back in 2019. I really do believe that, and I'm very, very excited that they're up on the uprise again. It's cool to play Gibson again. 2018, 2017 are far behind us, and I'm really glad that 2019 is here and they're changing things up, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be a Gibson fan. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? What do you guys think of the guitars? What do you guys think of the sound? Leave it all down below in the comments. Guys, my albums and EPs and all my social media is down below. If you're brand new to my channel, you just found me, thank you so much for watching me to this point in time in this video. If you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, joining my friends here on my YouTube channel, I'd really, really appreciate it. Alright guys, I am out of here. Stay metal, and I will see you next time.